in Sun Valley, and this is summertime. Today, this is my friend Aurélie, who is in charge of this recipe. Aurélie is a very busy woman. She's a mom, a CPA, so she has to be very fast when it's coming to cook.
Thank you, Francette, for inviting me to your great little videos. So today I'm gonna show you how to make a tomato tart that my grandmother made when I was little, and even today when I go visit her. And she decides to make it often at the last minute thing when friends are coming or when we don't know what to eat that night. And it takes about 10 minutes to prepare. And it's very light and thin, and you can use it for an appetizer, starter, or even a main course if you want to have it with a little green salads. It's just very nice. One of the key elements that you'll need to find that you may not have on hand is the puff pastry that you use, and that's the one that I've usually found in most supermarkets, and that's the puff pastry, and it comes in 2 flat sheets. If you do not find it, you can also substitute with phyllo dough, and depending on how many people you have, you can, double the recipe by using both doughs, or like I'm going to do tonight, I'm going to just use one. So the pastry dough is available in the frozen section of the supermarket. So think about taking it out about 20 minutes before you're gonna start the recipe. And it takes about 10 minutes to assemble all the ingredients and prepare the pie. And then you can put in your oven, and that will be baking for 30 to 40 minutes. You're going to use a cookie baking sheet and a piece of parchment paper, and you're just gonna line the cooking sheet with it. Then we're gonna go for the puff pastry that has been defrosting a little bit on your counter. It's better to let it defrost at room temperature rather than rush it and put it in the microwave, because it will create some kind of a melted dough in the microwave that will be very hard to use. So the best is to just let it thaw outside, on your counter. And even if it stays a bit frozen, it's okay, as long as you can easily open it up. And if it comes apart or you have pieces falling off, don't worry about it. You can easily just press the dough together, and it will seal back. Like here, you see I have a little piece. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to push on it, press with my fingers, and get it done. And as you can tell, this piece is not very big, and that will work for 4 people for as a main course for lunch, for instance, to have it with a salad. Or you can cut small squares for the appetizer. And if you have a large party, just use the other one and use the same technique as if a piece was falling off. You just press along the side and overlap the 2 doughs and just make a very large one. So the second step is to cut the tomatoes. We want to cut them in whole slices and about 1/4 inch. You don't want them too thick or it will make a soggy tart. So we're going to start from the end. You can make sure to just use the best slices and disregard the 2 ends, and just maybe cut 3 to 4 tomatoes depending on the size of your tomatoes. Here we go. That's about it. Next step, we're going to use our Dijon mustard. Make sure you get Dijon, not any other type of mustard, or the tart will not taste the same at all. So you get about 2 small teaspoons, and we're just gonna spread it with the the back of your teaspoon here and make it a thin layer. It doesn't need to be fully covered. You can keep the borders bare, so it will create a small crust around the pie. And that's about it here. We're gonna now put the Parmesan cheese over the mustard. Parmesan is definitely the best choice, but if you don't have it, you know, use any type of fresh cheese that you would use on a pizza to make sure that it will melt easily in the oven. And I use about a half a cup of Parmesan. Same thing as the mustard, you don't need to fully cover. Now we're going to place the tomato slices, and you don't want them to overlap on each other. We want to just keep them very close, like this. Make it pretty. That's important too in French cooking. And I may, you know, depending on the size of your tomatoes, you know, you can have a different design. But here it looks like I can just use 3 rows. And if you need, we're gonna cut a small piece to just finish a side, you know, like this, and keep the little border to create a crust like a tart. Here we go. The seasoning, very important in French cooking, all in the details. So here I am just sprinkling a little Provence herbs. You can use dried thyme, dried herb de Provence, or dried Italian seasoning. Anything works, you know, in that nature. A little olive oil, very, very light on the olive oil. Just slightly cover the tomatoes, and you can end with a little salt and pepper. We have the Ferrari of the salt and pepper here. Love this machine. Here we are. Now it's time to place it in the middle rack of the oven. You remember the oven was preheated at 375 degrees. Place it in the middle and let it bake for 30 minutes. It's good to check on it about halfway through to make sure it's not going too fast. We want to see a golden crust at the end, and you want to have the juices of your tomatoes to have evaporated. So we just pulled out the tart from the oven, and as you can tell, the outside crust is slightly golden, and you can tell a lot of the juices have evaporated, and that's how it should be looking.
Aurélie got a cold and she had to go home. Sorry. This recipe has to be done just before eating, because this tart must be served hot. One more time, don't forget, under the video there is a red rectangle where you can click on subscribe if you want to see the following video. And if you like it, don't forget to click on this side.